So I think that um, when we should be mindful in identifying the people who, through love or just friendship, will, you know, derail the process that we are on, and have these honest conversations with them so that we don't fall off the wagon. Thank you.
Thank you. Very rich contribution. And, boundary setting is important. Confronting is important. Identifying who are the people that enable me to be the better version of myself. Who are the people that I can get around and really, really appreciate that I am actually a better version of myself for being here. But the truth is, we are often compelled through work situations to be around people that we don't choose. And that's where it gets real for a lot of us. You're in a work environment where today's somebody's birthday, they bring the cake. If you don't eat a piece of it, they'll make you feel so bad that you're being antisocial or you are this or you're that. And so I think I love hearing from each of us because like I know that there are some friendships that are really important to me. There's some very treasured mentoring relationships that are really important to me, but they do enable me to make bad choices when it comes to my nutrition. I remember one of my mentors got really mad at when she saw how much weight I was losing. She said, "No, no, I like you thicker. You're just by nature a thick person. So I don't like this version of." I felt so bad. This is someone I admire, who's been so good to me in life, etc. But I have to acknowledge that, look, will I respect what I feel God was leading me to do, or will I let her opinion? It's almost like that question that's fundamental in scripture. Whose report will you believe? The people may be beholden to one version of you. Like this version of me to my left was someone that people were applauding for. I've been in my life very privileged to do things that have caught the attention of people, not just locally, but internationally. And nobody was knocking on my door saying, Yawa, you need to lose weight. Yawa, you need to take better care of your. Nobody in my life was knocking on my door in this way. And so the reason why this is important to acknowledge is that sometimes people are so impressed with the version of you that currently exists, where God may be putting it on your heart that no, we've got to make some changes. And I want you to acknowledge that voice and follow that voice more than you acknowledge or follow the other, because it can get confusing sometimes. I remember my mom, she saw me on TV and came to my house the following morning. She said, "What is happening to my daughter? Why have you lost so much weight? Is your husband troubling you? Is that?" I mean, I was like holding court in my house. She was so beside herself. She's like, "Hey, yo, what? Oh, why? Why?" I mean, you know how moms can be dramatic. I don't know if you've seen those memes online. African moms be like, yeah, "Oh, my mom was beside herself." Is it your husband? Did something happen with your job? Did something, hey, I don't understand. Why are you eating this way? And she knows my housekeeper at the time. She knew her. So apparently she was gossiping with her. Hey, what is it? Because she said, Auntie Cynthia says now all you eat are greens. All you eat are vegetables. That you're not really even eating her cooking anymore. And this, hey, Yawa, tell me, is everything okay? Are you sick? Huh? She was, I mean, so people you love and like will like a version of you that perhaps you're no longer called to be. And I think the reason why we've got to acknowledge all of this stuff up front is that it might get hard for you as this 52-day journey advances. Like you're starting to lose weight, or you're starting to shed some pounds, or you're starting to make new choices, or you're starting to set some boundaries. Like not everybody will be excited. Not everyone's been excited for this version of me. Like, hey, yeah, why you've reduced? Hey, what is that? Oh, no, 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 no. I like the other version of you. I've had some friends say that to me. Some friends say, I liked you when you were thicker. you know, and I've had to deal with the effect of a lot of weight loss as well. You know, some parts of me got really flubby because I wasn't really doing weight training. That's why I'm doing more weight training now, like trying to tone my body a bit more because I lost the weight but didn't have the tone. But look, everybody will have an opinion, and the goal of this is to help us really have our convictions from within so that people's opinions do not shape what you decide. It's about taking ownership and driving this process. All right. I see Anissa, you've got your hand up again.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that having honest conversations with the people around us is key, right? Because they're losing someone they knew. And sometimes when we're going through the changes, you might be a little bit more crankier or less available, or, they're used to having, let's say, Yahweh the way there is. So there's a shift with them as well. So the conversation I had with my family, my husband, my son is, look, if I'm sick right now and the doctor says I need to eat A, B, and C, would you support me? And I said, of course we would. I said, then why do you want to wait for me to get to that point to
Hmm.
support me? I don't want to get sick. A woman of my age right now, we're all going through perimenopause, or some of us are in menopause. Your life has to change. And so the conversation and the education was around, if you're going to support me when I'm sick to follow a certain lifestyle, why not do it before I get sick? That way we don't have to go through that with the burden of, health issues on top of it. And I
Mhm.
think that set the tone for them and it changed the mindset. And they've been very supportive of me. And they know there's certain things I don't eat, so they don't even include me in it. And I don't also shame them into, eating whatever it is that they want. I try to maintain a healthy lifestyle home, but I understand that people need to treat themselves and eat, because sometimes when people go on these lifestyle changes, then they also become a little bit condescending towards the other
Yeah.
people who are not changing their lives, right? And so there is a balance there, education, back and forth, and being supportive and respectful of each other is very important, especially with the well-meaning, loving friends and family.
I love it. Thank you for that. And it's so true. Like you can feel so self-righteous. And I'll admit I've had to, shut that down in my own mind. Like, you can be just so proud of yourself. Like, oh wow, look at all these healthy choices I'm making. Look at me getting up at 4 a.m. to exercise. Look at them still asleep, losers. Look at them. Like you can become so self-righteous if you're not careful in a process like this. And that I don't think is healthy either. Like, can I not love my family even though they're making different choices than me? Yes, I can and I must. Can I not love, the people around me just as they are, even if their packaging right now looks like what I've tried to escape? Yes, you can and you must. So I think this journey tests so many parts of you. And I think I appreciate you for calling this part out because I know often, you know, who we keep around us enables or disables, but sometimes we are also disablers. I know it never helped me when people would sit across from me at a dining table and condemn my food choices. It never helped me. Unsolicited advice about what I should be doing or not doing never really helped me. I needed to be willing and I needed to be at the place where I could hear it and receive it or even pursue it myself. So I think you bring out such an important point. I love what I saw Bawanile posted in the chat box. You make me really remember my own mom here. You said my late mother would just cook all your favorite foods and start telling you that your bones are showing, and I'm embarrassed, and you're embarrassing her. So she'll be bent on making sure she feeds me. She fattens you back up because she's like, your skinniness tells on her. And I maybe that was the root of my mother's behavior as well when she came home and was just, she was at my dining table, sat across from me, just like she would not leave. She said, "No, I'll sit here until you tell me the truth of what's going on." I said, "Mommy, I've just not been well and I'm taking control of my health." I told her, Mommy, I've been taking medications for hypertension and diabetes, etc. So I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm just changing my diet and making sure that I can get back to a health. No, 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 no. It's your husband, isn't it? Then I'll explain again. No, it's not. It's so some people who are nearest and dearest will be the most unlikely to understand and unlikely to support you because the call of God is not a conference call. They weren't there. And some of you, you feel deep down like God's calling you to a better standard of care for your body, which is his temple. And some of you maybe are experiencing the side effects of, like I was, of some sort of lifestyle disease. And I love the example that was given about, well, maybe I'm just paying the taxes now so that I won't have to pay it later and be frail and old and decrepit and a drain on my family's well-being and happiness because I didn't take care of the body that I was in. So just so many gems here, and I really appreciate each of you for sharing. Does anyone else care to share? I know there's a number of us who haven't spoken yet. You can use the raise hand function and I'll be happy to call you, or you can type in the chat box and we can keep the conversation going. Who's next? I feel like Boanila is cracking us all up with her examples. I sent an email a few days ago as well with these reflection questions. And, as you contemplate what to share or what parts of or which quadrant you're struggling with the most, I really wanted to re-earth or resurface these questions to see who would like to speak to any of these questions. The floor is open, and I hope those who have been mute so far will also feel inspired to share. All right, Doreen, I see your hand is up. Please unmute and share.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Greetings.
I guess I will speak about my relationship with food.
Mm.
Food and I have, food and I have, I think we have a great relationship. For me as a child, like I put in the comment session, I was quite skinny. And you can trust an Achim mother to let you know that you're skinny. So I mean she'll look at me and say things like, hey, it's maybe only Kesie Abunsa, as in I went the other direction with being big. You know. But for me as a child or as a young girl growing up, food was part of the way that I nurtured relationships with my siblings. It was the way I supported my mom and took care of the home. And it was that simple. So just support. And then as I grew, I think I became really conscious of food in 2000. And I had my second child in 2002, December. And I got pregnancy-induced hypertension, put on a lot of weight. And because my father died of a stroke, that my doctor insisted I saw a nutritionist. And so from 2003, I worked with a nutritionist and went through the whole conversations of making yourself a plate. So it was she said to me she wasn't going to change anything I ate. So tell me what you eat. And she walked me through the whole process of making myself a plate. And so just using my eye, so visually making myself a plate. So she said, I want you to promise me you have a minimum of 4 colors on your plate all the time. And and so I brought that home. And back then my kids were much younger, so we'd joke about it. Would say already in the consumer we can count our 4 colors, but the idea was have enough vegetable on your plate. So she said, you know how in Ghana we say we're having banku and okra. She says we have to flip that around. So even how you talk about what you're having changes. So we're having okra and banku, or we're having kontomire and rice. So rice became the smallest on the plate. So you'd have a lot of the kontomire. The next in size would be the protein, and then the smallest on the plate was the carbs. And so I started that, and then my baby was young, so I didn't do a lot of gymming, but I went on walks when I could, and sometimes stationary walks, like walking in the house, you know, and the weight began to fall off, you know. So I've been on that journey for a very long time. Sometimes I just let myself go. I love experimenting with food. What are easier ways of making kontomire, for instance? What will happen if I stopped using MSG years ago. So finding just healthy ways to play around with it. But I realized 4 years ago, I think I was having a conversation with one of my coaches, and we talked about food. It had nothing to do with nutrition, but I spoke about how when I'm really stressed and I can't figure what to do because my creative friends just leave me when I'm stressed, I go into the kitchen and make something, not necessarily to eat, but because it's the one thing that I can start, influence the entire process, and see the outcome almost immediately. So there's a bit of I think it's where I feel powerful, but I don't have that relationship where once I'm done with it, I need to eat all of that in. My mom stressed eat, but I don't stress eat. I think I just like the whole notion that when everything else is falling apart, there's this one thing that I can do, and it's still linked to me as a creative, me as a nurturer, and me knowing that I haven't lost everything because I can put things together, create something beautiful, something that nourishes, and see the outcome immediately. So food and I have a good relationship.
I love it.
One time my daughter asked me, Mommy, I see you love to cook. And I said, I don't know if I want to say that. Years ago, I would have said yes to that. But as they were growing, I said to them, I think I cook more out of love than, so there's that relationship. Sometimes I know I love to cook. Sometimes I just cook out of love. So that's my relationship with food.
Very fascinating. And thank you for sharing. I saw your post in the WhatsApp group and beautiful plate of like ripe plantain with your kontomire. And I love what you said there that we have a good relationship. So I wanted to get into that with you. So I'm glad you shared it here. Very nice. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Who else will care to share? I mean, you can answer any of these questions. And Joan, I see your note in the chat box that you're unable to unmute, but if you're able to chat, send a message in the chat responding to either of these questions, any of these questions, we'd be happy to hear from you as well. Right. So Josephine says she also identifies with the bit that you said about showing your creativity through food. Yeah, I love it. I've never heard it expressed that way. It was beautifully expressed as well. Like I don't love to cook. I cook as an expression of love. I've never heard that said that way before. And very, very poetic and driving my curiosity further, to be honest. Anyone else care to share? You can use the chat box and I will read your comment, or you can use the raise hand function and I'd be happy to call on you. Cynthia, please go ahead again.
So my relationship with myself, how I'm treating myself. This week has been very busy for me. I wanted to go swimming, do a few things for myself, but workload has been very tight, and I felt tired. For instance, this afternoon after I got something done, I wanted to step out and I was so sleepy. I said, Cynthia, you need this sleep. If it's even a short while, and I
As-
went to sleep, I just realized I slept over an hour and opened my eyes and was still feeling tired. I said, no, you need to restore this body. And I think through this challenge, I'm learning. Cynthia, a year back, would have said, no, you must go and come back and be blaming myself. I'm tired, I'm this. I'm learning to be kind to myself.
Mm.
And that has been very helpful. So, for instance, now I'm sitting very calm by my computer, listening and taking notes. I'm
Mm.
sure if I forced myself to do the things I needed to do, yes, the swimming was important. But if I'm tired and I go and swim, my muscles become sore or hurting, it gets back to me. So I plan doing it another time. And
Mm.
it's okay. First, I would have blamed myself. Hey, you didn't finish what you planned to do for the day. And that even brings guilt, which is not helpful for me.
Mm.
And I had some, let me say, engagement. Canceling them was so difficult. But after I did it, and today having my rest, I said, oh, it's good. I should have gone for a wedding. I said, I don't think even she remembers I wasn't there. And it is okay. And my relationship with God, I'm trying to fast from social media. I don't use it by heart, but it's just that when I hit on it, I don't seem to get off it. That one, and even fasting on food. My tummy hurts, or I've been on some medication for some time because they said I have acid reflux and things. Although I'm not having the bad heartburns I used to have, but I'm still struggling with it. And I realize when I go very small on food, I mean very small, I'm comfortable and I move around. And that brings about some clarity. I'm able to pray well, commune well with God. And it's leading me to understand that the quality of whatever I put in my body really affects how my body functions and my spirituality.
Mm.
I knew this, but it's becoming clearer.
Mm.
And so I think I'm going to work more on that. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I love what you said about being more kind to yourself and not over scheduling. I think it's one big lesson I learned in my own journey that it's never God's best for us to be overwhelmed, and that was my life. Go here, travel here, do that. And I'm not saying, you never have to work hard or meet deadlines, etc. That's unrealistic. But if that's consistently your life, that's perhaps why there's the burnout or the high cortisol levels that makes it hard to lose weight, or your body's retaining visceral fat around all of your bodily organs because there's just you've put your body in a state where it doesn't even know how to shut down. I don't know about you, but you can tell me in the chat box if or show me by emoji if you've ever you've been tired but couldn't even sleep like that. Your tiredness went beyond sleep. It's like your soul was tired. Like it's a tiredness that sleep could not fix. Like you were mentally drained, physically drained, emotionally drained, drained in every way. And I think a lot of women are candidates for that type of drain because we have cultural systems that expect us to go above and beyond and to sacrifice for everyone else. So it is nice to be kind to ourselves and to say, look, sometimes I tell my husband, Oga, I need a day. Just you and your children, I don't know what plans you people will make for yourselves, but I just need a day. I need a day to just not be pressured by other people, to be quiet, to, like this weekend, the kids are with my sister. They're enjoying time with their cousins. I won't see them until Monday after school. I'll pick them up from school. And we made that arrangement on Friday, on Thursday rather, because my husband's like, we haven't gone out just the two of us, in a long time. These kids are always in the way. And so that's why I had to shift our call from yesterday, because I got an unexpected invitation to a date night and just like solo time with the spouse, because it's true, like we go, we come, we do the things, we work, our lives revolve around these children. And oftentimes there are these things that can compete against the activities that actually restore us. So thank you for sharing, Cynthia. I think that's such an important point, the care and kindness that we show to self. I see another comment coming in the chat box. Bawanila says, I realize that when I'm in a happy place, I'm more patient and accommodating of others. I realize that I'm a better version of myself when I don't project and burden in my mind others with how I'm feeling about myself. Working on me makes me able to extend grace to others. Oof, truer words have never been spoken. Like when you work on you, it really spills over. Like I remember patterns in my marriage where I would think my husband was the worst person in the world. I can't stand him. He's this, he's that. And then all I needed was a nap. Or, like the irritability was just a function of tiredness sometimes. So it is so true that when you work on yourself, when you actually nourish your body well and take your naps and sleep and are replenished, like certain things that I would have been triggered by, I'm not even triggered by, because I'm well rested, well nourished. I got no problems. So the better you care for self, it really influences your relationship with others. Thank you, Bawanile. Lois, your hand is up. Please unmute and share.
Hello, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
So, my reflection was on my relationship with others. Last Tuesday, my take home was learn to advocate for myself and show kindness to myself and not just be nice to everyone. So, for the first time in my life yesterday, I was able to say no to my mom on a certain action she suggested that I should take. And when I responded no, she actually accepted my answer and I was surprised.
Mm,
And then I felt so proud of myself that I've been able to overcome that niceness. My former self will always say, yes, ma'am. And in the end, I'll do it and not be happy
mm,
within myself. So I was very happy that I was able to do that. And I pray that I'll have more grace to work in that boldness and then wisdom as well,
mm,
know how to advocate for myself. And then also in identifying and strengthening my relationship with others, I realized I have some friends, some beautiful relationships, but with time, life happens and then I just forgot about them. So I tried to reconnect to those friends and it was a good moment of fellowship. So I'm happy about that.
mm,
And then on my fast, I chose to fast on Facebook because it was something that really took my time and
mm,
I decided to read. And I'm proud of the progress I'm making because I've seen a lot of notifications in my email, notifications from Facebook, and sometimes I'm being tempted to go there, but I tell myself that I have to overcome that temptation. So I'm working on that and I pray that it goes well.
mm.
So thank you very much. Last Tuesday, I really learned a lot, and I pray that it will help me improve on my relationship with myself, food, God, and others. God bless you.
Oh, God bless you too, Lois. Thank you. Really great feedback there. Learning how to advocate for yourself, especially with people who we love and respect, but whose goals often interfere with the direction of our lives. And I know like you want to be nice, but honestly, sometimes you've got to put your foot down. So congratulations on putting your foot down and being decisive, even with your mother. And I know that can be hard because, sometimes that's where you feel just most of the guilt. Um, and a mom can always say, I carried you for 9 months and make you feel bad, take you on a guilt trip just now. So congratulations on that, Lois. And I pray that this rest of the journey will just be even more impactful. I see Clara. She says, my son is throwing a tantrum and it's been crazy noisy. I can so identify. Thankfully, my son is with his auntie and uncle this weekend. So she says, relationship with self, I've not done very well with getting back to working out. For instance, this past Wednesday at dawn, I woke up a little after 2 a.m. to use the restroom and picked out my workout clothes with the plan to wake up at 4 a.m. and finally start. The alarm went off and I just couldn't move. I felt so bad for not pushing hard enough. Each time I see someone's workout photo, I feel bad all over again. And I try to work out again with no success. My job puts me in a cycle of constant fatigue mentally and physically, and I barely get enough sleep. I'm drained in a lot of ways all the time, and I pray I'm able to make some progress for the coming week. All right, we're with you, my sister. My relationship with food is better, although I still have a long way to go. I have to make a conscious effort to set aside what will be good for me and what my family enjoys without crossing boundaries. May this week be better. Amen. We are cheering you on, my friend. I know, Clara, that it can be all sorts of difficult, especially with young kids, a demanding job, all of the best intentions, the 2 a.m., the whatnots. I mean, I also didn't work out this morning. I came back home like around 12 midnight. I was out with my husband, as I said. We went to the show and the show ended pretty late. So we were at this show at the National Theater that was put together by a friend of ours. So it was even more special. So after the show, we saw the friend and was meeting some of the cast. And long story short, I didn't get into bed until around 1:30 a.m. So I set the alarm for the usual 4, and it came on and I just snoozed, honestly, because I was like, something, I am not done sleeping. And I have a weekend with my kids out of my house. I'm going to sleep in. So I just like put it off and woke up, probably, okay, I woke up and then got out of bed, like probably around 7, because there's a prayer meeting that I really wanted to join. So I got up and did the prayer meeting, logged in on Zoom for the prayer meeting while I was doing laundry and some other things. But I had a really good day. And so I was also tempted to start feeling guilty. Yawa, you didn't work out this morning. I too was seeing the pictures in the chat box and WhatsApp and thinking, oh, Yawa, you've got no picture to post. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. This is a weekend. It's okay. I will get back on it, but it's okay. So, Clara, I declare to you that it's okay. The goal is for us to keep pushing ourselves, but to also give grace. And you are the one who will know the fine balance of that. And to borrow what Cynthia was sharing, we've got to be kind to ourselves. We're not robots. The goal of this isn't to make you robotic, but to help you choose healthy patterns of behavior that work. And so, I've been doing a lot of standing and stretching and moving and around the house as I've been cleaning. And I feel like, wow, my body's actually still sore from some of the workouts I did this week anyway. So I'm taking a rest today from these workouts. But part of it is having the good mental talk with yourself that it's okay. Like there's hope for tomorrow, but getting the energy, taking advantage of the fact that I had no kids home today and being able to just carve out time to do restorative things was way more important to me than ticking another box of exercise. And this is me, the one who says every day we should get 20 minutes of movement. This is me who says every day we should drink our 2 liters of water and all of that. I get it. But the goal of this is to help you find rhythm between these 4 quadrants of yourself. Your relationship with yourself is critical. Your relationship with your body, your food, your God, and others, all of this matters. And I think each of us needs to be intuitive. So, Clara, I applaud you for sharing so vulnerably, and we're cheering you on and hope that you find the rhythm that works best for you on this journey. All right. All right, let's see. Thank you, Yao. I appreciate this. You're welcome, Clara. Anyone else care to share? We can use the raise hand function, or you can type in the chat box, whichever is more convenient. Let's see. I don't see any hands up yet. All right. I hope you're writing in your journals. I hope you're keeping track of all of these things because, like I said in our kickoff call, this is a journey that will hit everyone differently. Each of us has different life experiences and expectations. And the more we keep track of what's happening with us, the better I think we'll be able to see how far we've come. Because it's so easy to come into a group like this and just get lost. I don't want you to be a silent observer. I don't want you to also feel pressured to perform either. But I want you to show up for yourself. So Clara and anyone who may be struggling, like document the struggle, document it. Like I love being able to go back to my previous journals and say, I struggled today with this or that, or I ate this, I didn't expect to eat that, or I've been documenting my struggle with snacking. Like I can't get victory over handfuls of nuts. Like why can't I stop every time I go into the kitchen popping peanuts in my mouth? Why? And I'm like, okay, what is this thing? How do I overcome this need to obsessively be munching on something now? Like, how can I deal with this grief that I feel with the loss of my friend? How is that showing up in different ways? And the more I read over what I'm writing, the more I'm seeing patterns and the more I'm seeing, oh, this is actually the root of what's going on. So if you're not documenting any of this, I really strongly advise that you do. All right. So let me walk you through the accountability pairings. As I said, a big part of our Renew program is our ability to journey together. So part of what we've done is broken each of us or broken the group up into accountability pairings so that, besides the twice a week check-ins that we do together, you'll have the opportunity to reach out on a one-on-one basis. Our vision is that each week you'll check with your accountability partner at least once. You can schedule a Zoom call, a WhatsApp call, or just text each other. But we really want everyone to feel you don't have to succumb to the pressure of the collective. You can have more personalized attention from someone who's just as driven to make changes as you are. So, Evelyn, you will be journeying with Sharon. Benedicta, you will be journeying with Bawanile. Cynthia, you will be journeying with Joanne or Joan. Gloria, you'll be journeying with Anatu. Mauto, you will be partners with Mirabel. Josephine, you and Anisat will be pairing up. Lois, you and Clara will be buddies. Nana Afua, you and Agnele will be buddies. I think both of you aren't on the call today. Doreen, you and Sylvia will be buddies. So I'll post the pairings also to you via WhatsApp. Okay, Joanne. All right. Thank you for the clarification. I will post these this pairings list also in our WhatsApp group and via email. So don't worry at all. And then we'll connect, definitely via email. I'll do the email list as well so everyone can know how to reach each other on email. But my vision for the accountability is to add another layer of support for this process. I'm a buddy to all of you, so you can reach out to me at any time for sure. But I really felt part of how we foster community and connection is through these accountability pairings. So please, take note of who your partner is, reach out within the group and say hi, set up some time to get to know each other. You know, we've got 90 minutes together twice a week as a group, and that's never going to be enough time to hear from everyone or to do a deep dive into people's specific situations. So again, our goal is that you connect at least once a week and you can choose what time and what method. We're not going to be prescriptive about that. My challenge for accountability partners for this coming week is that everyone should get a medical checkup. If you have had one within the past like 3 months, then don't worry. But before we get into our nutrition and exercise pillars, I really do recommend that people just really know where they are health wise. So, everybody, every pair of us, I really want you to keep each other accountable. Have you been to the doctor to get some lab work done? And especially, you know, the general markers for health, like check your cholesterol, check your blood sugar, check your blood pressure, you know, check the general stuff that people your age need to be checking. If you've not done gynecological checkups, just do that. Can we all commit in, you know, before we start with our nutrition and exercise? So renew, we're going to do relationships, which we're doing now. The next pillar is energy. But before we start nutrition and exercise, I really want to advocate that everyone gets a health checkup. And if you've had one in the past 6 to 8 weeks, I think that should be fine. But if you haven't, if it's been a minute, so I haven't done a checkup this year. My last checkup was in, I think, October, like during the last challenge. So I'm going to commit to doing my own checkup just to make sure I know what's happening with my body right now. Where's my cholesterol? Where's my BP at? Where's my blood sugars? Those are the three markers specifically that I look out for. And you know, I would encourage all of us to do that before we start with nutrition and exercise. So that gives you like a 2 week window to do the needful if you haven't yet. But I hope as accountability pairings, that can be one of the first agenda items that you're keeping yourselves accountable for. All right. Any questions about your pairing or about this process or about, you know, anything we've treated on today's call? All right. Joanne says hers is coming up this week. So I suppose you're doing your health checkup this week. Yay. Congrats. All right. I think it's just so smart. You know, we're going to continue with our commitments for this week to journal, reach out to someone, you know, in the group, preferably your accountability partner. We want you to eat well, you know, think about, I think I'm going to be spending this week thinking about what Doreen said, like the 4 colors on your plate and making sure that you're being mindful about that. Thank you so much for that perspective. Spend time with pray in prayer if you can, but remember to drink your 2 liters of water daily, to move for 20 minutes a day, to share with us in the WhatsApp group what you're up to, and to connect with us on our next live group coaching call, which is next week, Tuesday. All right. So you're asking, Joanne, how do we get the contact for our accountability partner? Watch out for an email. I'm going to drop the email list so everyone will have each other's email, and you can, you know, reach out via email to your accountability partners. I know some of you aren't really big on WhatsApp or social media, and some of you are actually fasting from social media for the period of this. So email would be ideal for us to share. So yeah, please watch out via email for that. Any other questions from anyone? I've enjoyed our check-in today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to journey with each of you. I'm also grateful that you are trusting me with your time and, you know, your commitment to this journey. Um, I don't take it for granted, the fact that you're here and that you're allowing me to pour into your life some of the insights that have been so transformative in mine. You know, it's been a week since we've been together, And I welcome your feedback along this journey as well. This for me is a labor of love that I feel, excited to get to do. So again, thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. I see we're a few minutes over time, so I might round up today. If you don't mind, I'd love to pray for you. So dear God, thank you for everyone here and everyone who may be watching this recording. And I just really want to thank you for this journey that you've started with us to dig to the roots of some of our behaviors and patterns that stand in the way of our progress. We want to be made whole. We want healing and wholeness. And from what I'm hearing from each person who shared today and has connected with this vision for the Renew journey, I'm hearing a hunger for transformation and a desire to be of use. So, Lord, give us the grace to be willing and obedient and to eat the good of this land and to experience you fully through this journey. I pray that you'll help us to not miss the lessons and the insights and just to be wholeheartedly open and ready and expectant. For those that are struggling with nutrition or struggling with exercise or struggling with hydration, give us the grace to do what's right by our bodies and to love and take care of our bodies as the beautiful temple that it is, so that we glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. I share the recording in the WhatsApp groups as well. And have a good rest of your weekend and see you next Tuesday for our next live session. Until then, stay well. Good night. Mwah. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, ladies.